Okay, welcome back to the Black Pearl. Instructor Mike here. Quick little side trip. Students just graduated, and 2 weeks ago, super awesome. They're out working and everybody's happy. But in the spring, we always talk about, instructor Matt goes up fishing to Alaska, and I go cruising. It's actually part of my summer job is doing these flotillas. So one little thing we did was we stopped here at Butedale, and I just want to give a quick little history and an update to give you a little glimpse of what we do when we're out cruising and why we love going up and down the inside passage. So Butedale's about 500 miles almost, not quite, 475 from Anacortes, Washington. And it was established back in like 1911 as a logging, hunting, fishing camp type of a thing. And by 1918, it was a booming cannery. It was the furthest north cannery in BC, and it's rumored there was like 400 people working here. There was tons of houses and stuff. And so here's an old image from when I was here last 9 years ago in 2014, what it kind of looked like. And so we didn't stop for a number of years. It was in between different ownerships, but when we stopped last, Corey was the caretaker, and he was a super neat guy. Had just very limited internet, some snail mail, and he used to put in requests for cruisers coming by. And one year we gave him half a thing of baking powder, and one year he needed flour or vegetable oil, and it was super neat. We'd stop and see his dog, give him a can of beer. In fact, we just got done with our hike, and I'm drinking a nice ice-cold IPA, except my cruise choice is questionable. Shipwreck? I don't know. On a boat on the inside passage, but it's cold and delicious. It was a hot hike. And so, anyways, Corey was wonderful and gave us tours of the whole place. And there's a new outfit. I'll put a link down here in the video show notes, but they're looking at revitalizing that, and it's an important part of the whole ecosystem and everything that goes on around here. And so a number of the buildings have fallen down and whatnot. When we first used to tie up to see Corey, we were on these docks, they were called, right? A couple of trees with a bunch of boards nailed to them. That's what the docks were for years and years. And it was a little sketch, but we loved it. Now there's these nice, beautiful new docks and a new ramp. And you got to get permission to be here from the owners. And then they've built a nice little deck up here you can see with some of the old machinery for a place you can sit and watch your boats. We got about 7 boats tied up here, I think, tonight. And you could actually raft them and put twice as many if it was busy. These are big, long stretches, Princess Margaret and Grenville Channel and stuff, so it's nice to have a little place where you can actually stop. It's super deep out here. You could anchor, but the cruising guides say there's probably a bunch of old debris from this facility. I don't know. I'd probably still anchor if I needed to. The old houses there's still just a couple of them left that were kept in decent shape, and as much as 10 years ago were still livable. And then there's the powerhouse, which unfortunately you can't go in anymore, but I did I flew the drone in and got a picture of that big old generator. And the generator is super cool because, well, this is one of the coolest parts of the whole facility, I think, is this old pipe that they built, once again, back before 1920, and all this cement to put in this hydro house. And you can see it's charred there. Unfortunately, I think maybe some vandals or something happened, because I used to be able to walk into this little place back when Corey was there. And the original generator that you see right here straight in, it was not functioning 20 years ago and stuff when we came through here. But it was still spinning. And so what they had was, you can see how big Butedale Lake is. It's huge. And it comes down, and they say that this is the capability of like a megawatt or something. I don't know. But there's that comes off from that side pipe, that little diversion there, and spins this thing, and bam, free electricity, Now, when we were there, it was a little bit crazy. Off to the side where those pulleys are, if you look in the back, it was like a pulley to a pulley to a pulley. In order to get an automotive style alternator to spin fast enough, those things need to spin quite fast in order to produce any electricity. and they were just keeping some 12-volt batteries charged to provide a little bit of power at night to those houses when the sun went down. And so a little bit crazy to have that much water energy and to only be using like a 100 amp Delco alternator. But that's what they did, and it worked for a number of years, and of course now they're getting nothing out of it until this revitalization project happens. Cool, because when they build these hydro plants, when they abandoned the place in the 50s, the BC ferries come by and the fishermen and stuff, they call it a ghost town because you had to keep the lights on. You needed a load in the generator, and so when they left this whole place illuminated, and for decades people coming and going would see the lights on. And so it's a lot like Ocean Falls. Look up the history of Ocean Falls, which is south of here a ways, another great place to stop when you're cruising the Inside Passage. And same thing, but that had a huge town, and 3/4 of the people left, 3/4 of the houses, and they just left the lights on for years and years and years. And so it was really fun. So if you hike up, one of the fascinating things along with these big buildings, there's like a basketball hoop over in that one, and you wander around, and being an old engine guy and a buff of machinery, I really enjoy looking and trying to figure out how stuff worked and whatnot, you know, back in the 30s and 40s. But we hike all the way up. It's about a 1/4 mile as a crow flies, but it's at least a 1/2 mile trail. Third of the way up, there's a canoe somebody was portaging. I don't know if it was going up or coming back down or what the heck, but I wasn't going to carry it because it's a steep trail, and it was worth it though at the end of the day. But up there is this huge lake, and Corey had said, you know, 15 years ago that somebody was considering getting the rights to the logs and helicoptering them out because these really old logs were worth so much money. I don't think that ever panned out. It sounded too expensive to me. But all I can think about is they put in the cement spillway and stuff in order to channel the water for this place, and that raised the level of the lake a little bit. I have no idea how they got all that cement up there. Look at this little clip. It's an immense amount of cement. How did they do that? Look at that. We made her. Beautiful lake. High up in the mountains. This is what blows my mind. How did they get all this cement up here back in the day? I don't even know. It's like they had some sort of contraption there for putting the boards in. Probably came out over here. I see the slots. Still have boards in there. Beautiful. Rookie mistake though. I believe these are all skeeters flying around my head, and I forgot bug spray. We've been 12 days without bugs, so I have it on the boat, but totally forgot. There you go. Butedale. This is how you can create electricity, or how they did for many, many decades. Super cool. We don't know. Anyways, there you go, Scallywags. I hope you enjoyed a quick little tour of Butedale, one of the stops we do along the Inside Passage, and it, you know, it kind of gives you a glimpse of why we do it. Nice long motoring days, and then cool places and history to explore. So thanks for watching.